While I agree with most of your takes, I don't think that masks significantly reduce the spread of coronavirus and protests. Masks used in public by the majority of people are either cloth masks or surgical masks, which are very ineffective at containing the virus in absence of social distancing.
You're
wrong.
Love the spirit of justice.
You're wrong. What you're failing to recognize is, like, when we look at data, we look at exponential spread. Okay, so even if there's a 30% likelihood of reducing a coronavirus spread, that plays out significantly when you look at the data. A lot of people mistake this because it's like, oh, it's not 100%. Of course it's not 100%. You cool with giving up your civil liberties? Like what? Wearing a mask when I'm outside? Is it giving up a civil liberty? Are you that dumb? I mean, why don't you walk around naked then? That's also taking away your civil liberties. Idiot.
I don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear. Things gotta breathe.
What? Hey guys, this is why we have a problem too, by the way. Like, this is literally it. These very same Karens were running around 3 months ago screaming about reopening the economy and saying that they were promising to God that they were going to be responsible and wear masks. Trump was saying, oh, they're so responsible. They're big. The protests are big and they're beautiful and they're great and they're strong. They're wearing masks. They weren't and they still aren't. And now that the economy is reopening, now it's about the masks.
In the beginning, God formed man out of the earth and breathed his breath in him, and he became a living soul. What you say is the political dogma that they're trying to shove down our throats on every commercial, in every store, and it's disgusting.
Every single one of you that are obeying the devil's laws are going to be arrested. And you, doctor, are going to be arrested for crimes against humanity.
Please don't show this video. The girl that's talking about the devil is clearly mentally ill. Okay, are they all clearly mentally ill then? At what point should we say, okay, well, we're gonna have to air some of the clearly mentally ill people at this circumstance? There are plenty of people who have psychological issues and disorders who are wearing masks out there, who are being responsible. Like, we can't use disabilities as a shield in this circumstance, especially when these people have a say and that it is becoming the norm. It's like saying, well, Trump has dementia, so you're being ableist for calling him out.
We will get together and do a citizen's arrest on every single human being that goes against the freedom of choice. Okay? You literally cannot mandate somebody to wear a mask knowing that that mask is killing people. It literally is killing people.
So are all of these companies that make surgical masks, like, are they responsible? Like, are they selling a product that purposely kills people? Like, what conspiracies require you to suspend your belief in so many other things? It always starts with a grain of skepticism, with a grain of truth and additional skepticism around it. And then it requires you to suspend your belief in every other part of the way the world works so that you can make the conspiracy work. Doctors are in on it. Nurses are in on it. Surgical mask factories are in on it. This is all a conspiracy by the 3M manufacturers. Impeach Bill Gates. Defund him.
Every single one of you have a smirk behind that little mask, but every single one of you are going to get punished by God. You cannot escape God. You cannot escape God. I'm gonna say that again. You cannot escape God, not even with the mask or 6 feet. Okay? 6 feet, like I said before, is military protocol. You're trying to get the people to train them so when the cameras, the 5G comes out, what? They're gonna scan everybody. We gotta get scanned, we gotta get temperatured. The kids have to go to school with masks. Are you crazy? I think all of you should be in a psych ward right the heck now.
Much of our communication is nonverbal, which includes facial expressions, gestures displayed, and the physical distance between the communicators. How will young children be able to know who the dangerous deviants are, like pedophiles and people in the human sex trafficking?
She's right. The best way to spot a pedophile is if they're rocking a gigantic mustache. And the mask actually hides your mustache. She's onto something, folks. How will the children know?
We, the people. I would die for that country. I would die for the Constitution. And you know what? You disgrace me. You know why? You did not listen to we, the people. You made your decision.
We are a nation of shared values of freedom, liberty, equality. We are home of the free, land of the brave. This is America, as someone else spoke. This is not Cuba. We are not in a communist nation.
So it's not just Florida, though. I mean, these crazies are all around the country, obviously, including North Hollywood, California, Karen, who's getting mask shamed. Wearing a mask has become a culture war.
This is day one. This is opening day of Trader Joe's in North Hollywood. This is Karen. Woo!
Democratic pigs! All of you! That man harassed me for not wearing a...
It's funny people say they're mental, but it's just regular American shit.
You have
I mean, I think these crazies exist everywhere, but like in America, we definitely make them president, or we vote in their representatives. Like the representatives that we have, like the Freedom Caucus, which is an extension of the Tea Party, for example. Those guys are very good at keeping the dumb voters busy and preoccupied.
I live in Orlando, and people in grocery stores still show up without masks and get this when they aren't allowed to.
For you?
Like there's curbside pickup.
How about that?
I think I'll get real close to you and cough on you then. How's that?
Oh, asshole. Wow. No way.
Let's go.
So here's the problem. For all of you hitting the, oh, well, it's just culling. It's like natural selection. It's not. Because the people that end up dying in this circumstance are going to be your grandparents or your immunocompromised friends and family members. You don't know what their situation is at home. When Elon Musk says stuff like, oh, I'll go to the factory myself. We have to reopen the factory immediately. And I'll go to the factory myself. Like, Elon Musk is not going home to take care of his fucking grandfather or his dad or his immunocompromised child. You know what I mean? But someone at his factory might be. That's the reason why I can't take they're just asking for it and they are hurting themselves, so who gives a fuck stance, because that's not how epidemiology works. That's not how this works at all. The more people are out without masks, the more likely people are going to spread coronavirus. The more likely that they are going to give it to others. The more likely that people who are immunocompromised are going to get it. Oftentimes, those people who are not going to be able to deal with that circumstance are poor people, are immigrant populations, essential workers, family members of essential workers who are predominantly black, brown, and poor white people as well. It's rarely ever the comfortable upper middle class crust of society, the boaters. It's rarely ever the big, beautiful boaters that Donald Trump signals to whenever he talks about. Dude, you turn off the video where the people were complaining off at the best time. The last line is legendary. Part 2 of that Karen video.
I have a breathing problem. My doctor would not let me wear a mask. So anyone harassing me to wear a mask, you guys are violating federal law. You get that? Get that on camera. Ma'am.
Oh, this is perfect. We're going to get to this right now, actually. So that's a lie. If you engage in physical activity while wearing a mask, yes, that might actually cause some problems, especially if you have a breathing problem, especially if you're like immunocompromised, or especially if you have a breathing problem. Most people who have breathing problems don't call it breathing problems. You just say asthma. If you have asthma, you say, I have asthma, I can't wear a mask, which is a lie, by the way. People who have asthma absolutely should wear masks. If you have, and I mentioned this earlier today, if you have a breathing problem, you should double down on wearing masks and make sure everyone else wears a mask, because you are more likely to die. You dumb fuck. People who actually have breathing problems like asthma, for example, know this. They don't just use it to lie about getting out of wearing a mask. So let's talk about the breathing problem. Nonsense. Here.
My name is Jake. I'm a registered nurse. I'm also a human who has a respiratory system. I'm wearing this pulse oximetry sensor to measure my oxygen saturation in my blood, or oxygen infusion. I'm wearing a procedural mask, and I'm at the end of a 12-hour shift, so I've been wearing this mask pretty much consistently for 12 hours. As you can see, my oxygen saturation is 100% out of 100. I'm speaking at length with this mask. My oxygen is not changing. I'm on room air. That's one mask. I now have 2 surgical masks on. Oxygen saturation is back in my baseline of 97, 98, up to 100. 2 masks on. Jason again, still have the pulse oximetry sensor on. Oxygen saturation, 100% with a good waveform. Clearly this is not impeding gas exchange.
It's killing him! Take it off! Take it off! We can't watch this, brother. I don't want to see it. It's fake! It's fake! It's CGI!
So I'm now wearing a nasal cannula with no oxygen.
You don't love the spirit of justice.
But the reason it looks this way is because it measures end-tidal carbon dioxide output. As you can see, my normal range is 42, well in the acceptable range, but I also don't have a mask on. Let's put 3 masks on.
I don't know what kind of lame science experiment he's doing. He said carbon dioxide. It sounds a lot like carbon monoxide. Don't libtards say carbon monoxide kills? That's why they tell me I can't roll coal in my own garage, brother. Now they're saying carbon monoxide works? I hate it.
I now have 3 surgical masks on. I'm measuring my oxygen saturation and my CO2, my end-tidal CO2. As you can see, my end-tidal CO2 is 41, well within an acceptable range. My oxygen saturation, not on supplemental oxygen, I'm still on normal room air, is 100%. Wear your mask. You do not have a reason to not wear a mask at all.
When did masks become political for weird? Everything turns into a political back and forth in this country. Climate change is political. People don't believe it. Extreme weather events are now commonplace, and yet people are still like, nah, brother, that's just because God hates gays or something. I don't know. I don't want to think about it too much. Like, American exceptionalism and American patriotism is kind of like a religion. Constitution is our Bible. Politicians use it to their own ends, similar to a religious zealot or a cult leader would. And that has created a baseline for a lot of Americans who are super patriotic to, you know, fall for these multi-level marketing scheme style conspiracy theories. And by the way, what I'm talking about as far as religion is also something that people have studied. The proclivity of Mormons to, for example, fall for multi-level marketing schemes and things of that nature. Because when you train yourself, when you condition yourself into believing dogmas or believing something that is irrational like American exceptionalism, then you are more likely to fall for other scams. Oh, we got another one. Oh, here we go.
This is how I train. Love the spirit of see, this is how I go out. This is how I train. Please encourage this is how I shop.
I love these. I love these ladies, man. I mean, look, they're just trying to stack their racks, baby. That's all they're doing. These are ladies who are just trying to make that paper. Okay, that's it. Why is she dressed like a Pokemon trainer? I don't know.
This is how I run my Spartan races, and I live in a blue fucking state, not even a red one. You think you intimidate me? You don't intimidate me, motherfuckers. Keep screenshotting me. Keep trying to get me fired, you little douchebag, dirty Democrat twats that you are in plain English. That's what you are. You will never intimidate me. It's called freedom of speech. I can wear whatever the fuck I want.
Okay, Ash Ketchum, look at this skin, dude. You should probably be more worried about skin cancer at this point. Stop hitting the tanning bed, lady. Cancer is fake too. They keep saying these doctors, these lip-tod doctors, they're telling me I can't go and tan over here. Let me tell you something. Fuck you, I tan as much as I want.
Whenever the fuck I want. Understand? Or you don't understand, okay? Go back to school, you fucking bunch of losers. Fucking pathetic. Every single fucking one of you. You're fucking pathetic.
Yeah, I mean, she's like hyping it up. This is a character. These people are all playing characters. Like, some of them are actually this stupid, but ultimately they're just trying to this is it. They're just trying to go viral. And it's working. Like, these people have all realized, like, if you say some crazy shit, libtards are going to go crazy. And they're going to promote your, you know, OnlyFans and your Patreon and your TikTok account or whatever the fuck you're doing. And that's what they're doing. Everyone's trying to be the new Boo Boo Bennett or the new Tommy Lauren. That's it.
Trump 2020, motherfucker. Fuck out of here.
She's a burn victim. Can't believe you're using your condition to attack her. Do you think poor education is a reason for these idiots not believing in masks? There are multiple problems. It's not just directly related to a lack of funding in public education. But yes, lack of funding in public education and bad education is definitely a significant factor. But it's not the singular factor. I mean, people who are highly educated still end up falling for dumbass conspiracy theories like Dr. Disrespect who went to fucking college and he's still promoting David Icke and Shungite. Even if you're educated, you can still fall for these conspiracy theories. It's culture. It's American culture. It's American exceptionalism. It's the way that people like refuse to believe actual. It's bad education. There's so many different reasons. Here's a dumb Kevin. Let's look. Oh, I was going to watch this
Our
yesterday.
freedoms are being taken forever, and I will not be muzzled like a mad dog. And I will not have my health destroyed because you idiots can't read truth.
I love the system.
You go along with the
never
lies
lose it in full
that
hand.
are the people who are trying to take down our freedoms and destroy our country.
Has a ton of
This
analysis
is
on
sick.
data on
We are being lied
1 year
to.
of
Our
watching
freedoms are
Hunter
being
Moore
taken
program.
forever, and I will not be muzzled like a mad dog.
I mean, I think you need a little bit of muzzling, brother. Character assassination is a trained shill tactic. Am I doing character assassination on him? Is that what you think? Is that what you think I'm doing right now? I'm character assassinating a guy. It's funny because, like, listen to me. It's funny when, like, you know, anti-SJW YouTubers gained so much prominence on the internet because they would look at, like, hysterical libs and, like, you know, college freshmen who had, like, you know, blue hair, and they were, like, screaming about some shit. And they would use that to justify and, like, delegitimize what the f people were saying without actually listening to what they were saying or what side they were on. I at least admit that some of those videos are funny. Like, they are. That's why they were very effective in getting a lot of people radicalized. Obviously, there were some other significant factors in that contributed to it. A lot of people already had pre-established, preconceived biases about progressive ideals. We do live in a very regressive society, so that's your social conditioning, and you're searching for things that, you know, reaffirm your suspicions, your biases. So that's why you would go to those websites and watch those compilations. But, you know, I can still admit that those were funny. Like, those were funny. They were being hysterical. Some of them were being hysterical for good reason. Others were being hysterical for bad reasons and funny reasons. These guys are also being hysterical for funny reasons, like wearing a mask. Just shut the fuck up and wear a mask. Do you want me to cover this seriously? Speaking about the dangers of not wearing a mask? Because there are plenty of dangers of not wearing a mask, as evidenced by the fact that coronavirus is spiking. But that would be boring. So I think that if these people are putting other people's lives in jeopardy by running around screaming, advocating to not wear masks, thinking that they're doing something that's righteous, then I think we can laugh at them.
And Florida, pushing hospitals there to the brink, and forcing governors to close businesses, including bars that had only recently reopened. Almost half of all new cases now come from those states, mainly from people under 35. The nation's top infectious disease doctor says that's because young people may be pushing to get back to normal too quickly, unintentionally putting many others at risk.